the more engine burns the fuel. But sometimes you have to find the correct amount that will give you the maximum RPM. Tamam? Is that so, Sam? That's why normally you find when you're doing the checks here, you find some place that's written adjust mixture. You adjust, you play with it. So you reduce it, or you add it depending on where it will give you the maximum. Because let's say you're doing your RPM at 2000. When you adjust the mixture, it gives you 2100. This is better than this one because it means the engine is burning better at that fuel setting. Like the fuel and the air is perfect. But when you adjust it too much and it gives you 1900, it means either the fuel is too little. And by calling it too little, we call it lean. So when you do not have enough fuel going to the engine, we say you've leaned the fuel. When you have too much fuel going to the engine, we say it is rich. Rich. So it's like if you have a lot of fuel, you say you're rich. If you have a lot, nothing, no grush at all, you say you're lean. So that's how we do it. So lean, these are the terms pilots and aviators and everybody here in this room is supposed to be using. So you get accustomed to this. These checks, what you do after this, when you go to the aircraft, you do the check one by one. Then from there, we move on to the next. Now, taxiing. What is taxiing? What is taxiing? Anyone here knows what taxi is?
Taxiing is line.
On this line. What color is it?
Yellow.
Yellow. What color is the runway line? Red. White. Broken or straight? Broken, like dash, or straight line? Broken, correct. So runway is white. White, broken. Taxiway, yellow street. Now, Sam, yes. I think you've done a bit of theory in EPL. Yes. What is the color of the taxiway, of the taxi lights at night?
The color of the taxi lights.
What color is it? Just look. The light on the side of the taxi, what color is it? It's these lights here. Taxi lights, sure. Come and check. Are you sure? Yellow or blue? No, not the line, the lights. You see at night the lights that come on.
Yeah.
What color is it? You see that small bar? You can see it better from the other side. Oh, this one here.
Oh, yeah, it's blue.
Blue. Come. Here. You see that light there?
Yeah. Small light.
That small light.
Yeah.
That one is what we call taxi light. So at night it helps you to see how the taxi is going. So it's blue. For the runway it's yellow. Okay? This is the taxi. Taxiway is straight. In the middle is straight and yellow. Straight and yellow. Now, you know what taxi is? So normally we try to taxi on the line. Always. Keep it here in the middle. Or keep the nose in the middle of the line. Because when you sit on this side, maybe say as an instructor or as a pilot and I sit on that side, we have to see it, both of us, in the middle. So if you put it on your middle, it's definitely on my middle. Now, what is power checks? Power checks is the last thing we do. Now here, let me show you. You see, us we're here. Okay? Here. Proactive is here.
Yeah.
Come on. Now, we want to go to runway 07 for takeoff. So we've done the checks, pre-flight. From outside, we've come inside, we've checked the fuel, the oil, everything is good, mia. Now from there, we request the tower. The tower is there. You see that building there? This one? You see that building?
Yeah.
That is the control tower, Wilson Tower. So the tower has given us access to go taxi all the way.
Tower alone.
Tower allow you. There is 2 frequencies in Wilson. We have Wilson Tower frequency and Wilson ground frequency. There are 2 frequencies.
We start with Wilson ground first,
Tamam.
and after that we request to
Yes. we
change
start
frequency.
Wilson ground. Wilson, write it like this, HKNW, okay? This is the code. The code for Wilson. Okay? We'll learn this in ALO. H is for region, HKNW. For Sudan is HSSS. This is Khartoum Civil Aviation, because you are still in the H region. Because you see, the world is divided in regions. So the H region, you find there is Sudan, there is Ethiopia, there is Kenya, there is Tanzania, there is Uganda. So as with the H region. S
For Sudan. Yes.
Come on. Khartoum is H.
KH.
No, Khartoum Civil. HSSS is the code. HKK. HSKS. I'll confirm this. But Kenya is H for region, K for Kenya, N for Nairobi, W for Wilson. So our ground frequency is 121.9. Then we're good to take off. We go to tower frequency, 118.1. So all these frequency, you apply them here on the radio. Tamam? So when you want to start a taxi, before you even start your aircraft, you call 121.9. You put 121.9 here on the com frequency, then you press Wilson Tower, good morning, Wilson Ground, good morning. This is 5 Yankee, 5 now, you see the 5Y on the aircraft?
Yeah.
Like for example, 5 Yankee BZO, so 5 Yankee Bravo Zulu Oscar, you press, then you leave. So that's 2, Bravo Zulu Oscar, good morning. Good morning, Bravo Zulu Oscar, 2 stores on board, 4 hours endurance for fuel, QBD, and you want to go to local area for 30 minutes. They tell you copied, clear for startup, Bravo Zulu Oscar. They give you the what we call the QNH. QNH is the atmosphere pressure. They give you the QNH so that you can put it where? You can put it here on this thing. So you move it. If they tell you it's 30.10, to red you put 30.10. If they tell you it's 29.92, you put it there. So after they give you that, you say clear for taxi, you receive their instruction because they have to know that you receive. Because communication is feedback. You talk, I respond. I talk, you respond. So after they give you all those things, you also respond. You tell them, okay, tamam, clear to start, Bravo Zulu Oscar. So then now we start, we move from here. From here we come like this, we move like this. Now this taxiway is this one here, the one you're seeing here. Tamam? This one here, this one. This taxiway we see going all the way, goes all the way to 07. So when you reach here, we've done the external and internal checks and we've given clearance. When we reach here, we now do power checks. Power checks is just to make sure, this one here, just to make sure that our aircraft is performing good. So we put it at, we add some more power. That is when we adjust the mixture to make it perfect, not too rich, not too lean. We make it good. The aircraft is good. We check the controls of the aircraft one final time. Come on. We see it's going fully, left, right, brakes off. Everything else in the cockpit is good, set as per needed. Then from there now you wait. So you start, you hold there. You see these lines?
Yeah.
This is called the holding point. You see these 2 lines, these small lines here?
Yeah.
This dash, and this one. It's called the holding point. On ground you will see it's bigger. So when you see the holding point, you look and see aircraft on this side. So the main reason for holding here is to see the aircraft that are coming in to land. You see like how we saw the aircraft? So when you're standing here, you'll see the aircraft that are coming in to land. So that you know, oh, after this guy lands, I can call and say, I'm ready to line up the runway. Because you can't just line up the runway before the tower give you what? Permission. So the ground guy tell you, okay, you're good, you want to line up? Okay, call what? Call tower. Because now you're moving out of the maneuvering area. The ground is necessary for once you land, you need to call them. Because now I need to access to the ground. But once you want to take off and whatever it is, they have to move you over to 1.1. So you come here and change what? Again, you put 1.1. So normally to save you all this time for changing, you put two frequencies here. You put the ground and the tower. So when they just tell you, oh, request on tower, you just press this button. It jump. Tamam? It's like you put two frequencies. You put one for the ground and the other one for the tower. So when they tell you, okay, you're now free to communicate with tower, press it. It just jump on the other side. So you set them before you take off. Now after that, you set them for takeoff. So after that, you've been cleared for line up, takeoff, all these things. You take off normally, climb, then from there are other checks that you do. These I won't go much into them. They're called hustle checks, health checks, you check for the height, ABCD, blah blah blah. So wind conditions normally, why do we need to check wind conditions? Wind conditions are important because you have to know where the aircraft is taking off from, how the wind is coming. Because normally, for aircraft, if you have winds that favor 07, see this is 07, right? If you have winds that are coming from this direction like this, then our takeoff meaning will have to be into the wind. Because you have to take off into the wind for us to get maximum propulsion. But if you have a tailwind, we call it a tailwind, a wind that is pushing you from the back, like this. If you have a wind that is pushing you from the back, you know what happens? The aircraft take more time to take off, and it's very dangerous because you find you might take off at this point. Because the wind, here's the thing, aircraft always takes off in the wind. So normally when you look at the compass here, it will tell you which direction the wind is coming from. So it will tell you which side and which direction the wind is favorable for you to take off and land. Sometimes you might find you take off from that end, sometimes you take off from this end. Because we have to adjust with the wind. So if the wind is taking off, is changing direction, we have to change direction with it. Because a tailwind is very dangerous for takeoff and landing. One thing, you can imagine landing with passengers and you have a wind that is pushing you and you're doing about 120 miles, doctor.
Wow.
We see an aircraft like this.
Wow.
You'll chew the runway, right?
Yes.
Or you eat the brakes and the manager for the aircraft won't be too happy, yeah? Because you're finishing his tires too fast. So that's how it is. So yeah, wind conditions are good. Again, these are demonstrated in the air. Now, emergencies. Why are emergencies important? Why do you need to know about emergencies? How to deal with emergencies?
If something happened,
If anything happened, God forbid, at least you can try to correct that situation in the shortest time possible. So, in the checklist, we have the emergency section. Now, we have emergency section. We have engine failure during cruise. What do? Say, let's say you're on cross country, and let's say the propeller just stands in the middle. Do you decide, oh, now you start saying A, B, C, D, or whatever it is, just come out quickly? Or what do you do then? So this gives you all the procedure that you need to do before finally you can decide and say that I'm going to do this.